Alrighty, so it's been way too long since the last video, and basically it's been a pretty stressful weekend. Today is Monday, the 11th, and I'm feeling a lot better today. Like I said, this weekend was really crazy. My MacBook Pro broke, which it's still at the Apple shop right now. I'm using my old MacBook right now. I still haven't heard back about those two documents that they said that they didn't have, because remember I think the last video I talked about how I emailed my admissions rep, and well, my rep hasn't got back to me yet, so I don't know if they actually have it or not, and I don't know whether I should send it because they haven't. I'm not sure. But basically, yeah, lots of stress going on, especially with the computer. Crazy story. It was a bit ridiculous if you ask me. I woke up Thursday morning, just like every other day, and I tried to turn the computer on, and it made the little Apple, noise turn on sound, and the buttons lit up and everything like that, but I couldn't see the screen. And so I shone a light on it, and I could barely see the mouse move, and basically I kind of figured the backlight went out because the brightness buttons weren't working, and I didn't know what it costed, so I brought it to Geek Squad at Best Buy, and they said the backlight was definitely out. So they gave me the option of them sending it out to Apple, or I could bring it to the Apple store that we have at one of the malls around here and have them check it out. So I decided to go out to the Apple store that's out in MacArthur Mall, and they took a look at it and said, yep, of course the backlight was definitely out, but since it has the Apple Care warranty or whatever, they said that they could keep it and fix it, but it might be a couple days because the part that they needed to fix they didn't have in stock, which the part they needed was actually a new screen for it. The guy said that he would put a whole new display on the whole thing. So I was like, okay, well, I'll take it home, because he said I could take it home with me. So I decided to take it home just because I needed my schoolwork and stuff, and I hooked it up to this monitor here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, so I hooked it up to that with the HDMI cable, and it worked. But I was like having to crane the neck while doing schoolwork, you know what I mean? And that had to do that for maybe, I think, 2 days, a day and a half, because on Saturday morning I got a call, and the Apple store, they said they got the part in the shipment or whatever, so I could bring the computer back whenever. So brought the computer back Saturday afternoon, and Sunday morning rolls around to get another phone call from Apple. Well, they said that they fixed the display, they changed the part out, but it wasn't the backlight that was broken. It was a piece called the logic board. And I guess it's kind of like the motherboard or something, but I think it's geared more towards controlling the hardware aspect of the MacBook. But yeah, basically they said they were going to need to keep it a couple more days to get the logic board shipped in, and then another day or so to replace it. So hopefully I'll be getting it back either tomorrow or Wednesday, because it's been pretty difficult doing schoolwork without it. Because that's the computer I'm supposed to be using, which I got the old MacBook out, and I actually had to download the newest GarageBand. I paid $15 for the latest version of it to put on the old Mac, and that was how I finished most of my schoolwork for this week. Yeah, so I finished a lot of stuff yesterday. I finished the podcast and the Beach radio commercial thing yesterday, and it took, oh god, it was frustrating with the podcast, because basically, you have to put pictures in the podcast, and I put all my pictures in, and I was ready to export the podcast, so I exported it, I opened it up in QuickTime to check it, and all the pictures were blurry. Like, every single picture was blurry. It showed up fine in GarageBand in the podcast preview screen, but when I exported it, it was blurry. So I had to research how to export it the right way. Even though I had done it the right way, I had to make sure I had done it the right way. But in watching a video or whatever, I found out that I have to make the pictures the right size, which is, for a podcast, 300 by 300 pixels. So then I had to look up how to resize pictures in iPhoto. And this again took a long time, lots of scanning through videos trying to find the right one. Finally I found out how to do it, and so I had to go into iPhoto, export them to the correct size, because that's how you make them the right size, you have to export them. So I had to export every single one of these pictures, re-import them into iPhoto, and then interchange them in GarageBand with the pictures that I already had. So it was a long process. The whole thing took about an hour and a half. It was ridiculous. Anyway, so I got it done. Pictures had the correct size, 300 by 300, or close to it. And so I exported again, and like mind you, this whole process took, like I said, around an hour and a half. In total, maybe around 2 hours. So by the time I had exported it, a huge chunk of my day had gone by, and the pictures were still blurry. So it was kind of a big waste of time, I guess. But the assignment got done. I turned it in because I couldn't think of anything else to do. I seriously couldn't figure it out. And at this point, like, lots of things were just, it was just, the stress was piling on. So I just went to the beach for about 2 hours and just sat. I couldn't bring anything with me but something to sit on. So, you know, I cleared my mind, cleared the head. And then I felt a lot better afterwards. I came back home, turned the computer back on, and basically I started from scratch. They gave us a couple audio files. But yeah, you had to splice and everything, and I did the radio commercial in one session. It took about 3 hours of work, but it turned out really good. I was really happy with the work I did with it. I might try to edit it in, do another screen recording thing or something. But yeah, the beach radio commercial turned out really good. So, you know, I was really happy with that. I turned that in last night. And now my next assignment for this week is to do the week 2 discussion, because I already did the week 2 reading assignment and the worksheet. I finished that, and so all that's left this week is the discussion. And basically we're talking about like illegal file sharing and like piracy and stuff like that. It's more of a research project thing than really a discussion, but to get our information for the discussion, we have to research stuff, which actually there's 2 parts. The first part is just answering a couple questions of what we think, and then the second part is the research. And the first part of a discussion is due by midnight, or 11:59, excuse me, 11:59 of the Wednesday of the week that it's assigned. So it's week 2, so it's due by this coming Wednesday at 11:59. And after that, we get the second part, which is due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And we get more information about the second post. So there's 2 parts to the discussion this week, and like I said, one of them is due before Wednesday, well, on Wednesday, and the other one due on the end of Sunday. But it's the same assignment. It's one assignment, but 2 parts. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. And tomorrow I am actually headed out to up to Fairfax, Virginia with a friend of mine. We're going to see the Mars Volta, and I know they're opening up for a band called Soundgarden. So it should be a really good concert, and I'm excited. So I might do a video earlier in the day tomorrow to make sure I get one in. And actually, yeah, tomorrow morning I will do the screen recording of the beach commercial and everything, and then I'll show you guys the discussion question, and then I'll kind of go into that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's going pretty good so far. I mean, this weekend was crazy stressful, but like I said, I went to the beach, just cleared the mind, did some thinking, and you know, like, I felt like it was so stressful and everything, but you know, I really didn't have it that bad, because one, you know, I'm fortunate enough to still have a computer. You know, I'm fortunate enough to still have the money to buy GarageBand, you know, when I needed it. And, you know, I'm lucky enough to be able to have my computer fixed for, I guess, free, not really, but so it I was pissed on Sunday because it was a suck day. Like, it was a really just sucking day. But like I said, things aren't really as bad as they seem at first, and I've been figuring that out lately with the whole online thing. Because let me tell you, I was gonna make a video yesterday when I was really pissed off and everything, and just saying, just like, screw online classes, don't take them. But they can be really helpful. It's like, they have their benefits, and then their I can't think of the other word, the opposite of benefits. But it's had its ups and downs so far. I mean, I'm only not even halfway done with it, and it's already, like I said, having its good and its bad. So just be warned that if you do the online thing, there can be things that will set you back the further than you thought, because they give you this computer from the Project Launchbox, or they expect you to have one, and you don't know if it's gonna crap out on you like mine did. I didn't expect that, you know what I mean? And the online class, they do not accept technological failures as an excuse to not turn in work. So even if your computer gets jacked up like mine did somehow, I didn't do anything weird to it. Like I said, it was on the desk all night, and just the backlight didn't work. But even if your computer decides to get jacked up, even if you didn't do anything, even if it's not your fault, you still have to figure out how to get your crap done. And I guess it really makes you really resourceful, you know what I mean? Because oh gosh, I don't know how I dealt with it, but it's getting taken care of. It's going to get back to normal soon. So no worries. It's not too bad. But I finally got a replacement key for Logic Studio. So as soon as I get my computer back, I can finally put Logic Studio on and play around with that. Which, like the little not assignment, but like the post or whatever said, I showed you guys. It's somewhere on there. It said within 48 hours or within 2 business days they'll get back, which it took them like over a week to get it to me. But I'm sure everyone was filling out the same form at the same time. So I finally got the replacement key today, so that's good news. And the other good news is that, I only have one assignment to do this week, which is pretty cool. So, like I said, tomorrow morning I'll wake up and I will do a screen recording and audio thing of the beach commercial, and I'm going to show you what we started out with, what they gave us to start with, and then I'll show what my final product was, and I'll go into detail on how I did some of the stuff in GarageBand. Because like I said, if you know what you're doing, which I know fairly well, I'm pretty confident with GarageBand for the most part. I mean, I'm sure there's still some things I don't know. For the most part, I'm pretty competent with it, so the final product turned out really good. I feel like much better than my podcast was. So hopefully it'll make up for that. But I'll show you guys some of the things that I did in GarageBand to get some of the effects and everything. I tried to make it as realistic as possible, so it turned out really good. So this weekend, when it comes down to it, good and bad. Online classes, when it comes down to it, it can be good and bad. You're going to get both. Like, don't just think it's going to be a breeze, because all of a sudden, bam, you're going to get hit with something that you totally didn't even see coming. But anyway, I hope everyone's having a good day or night. Stick with me, if you're still watching these. Again, I'm sorry that this video has taken so long, but it's been one hell of a weekend, that's for sure. But I'll catch you tomorrow morning with all the good stuff. So I'll see you then.